guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to share with you how I landed my first tech corporate job. 2018, that was my last year at campus. Anyway, I don't have a degree in software engineering, but I did do a diploma in software engineering. Our graduation was supposed to happened in 2019, but in 2018 we were tasked to find internships or jobs. And I remember one of our directors telling us that if you don't have a job, you're not going to graduate. So it was really tough. But again, my school really helped us to find companies that would come at school and interview us and help us, email us different job applications and all that stuff. So like we just kept applying. Every company that comes would apply. Some would come, interview us from school. I remember one time I had a colleague who was doing a different course from what I was doing, but from the same school. So when that gentleman reached out to me, he's like, Fanny, I need 2 people from your class to build a website for an NG. I was like, okay, cool. Since we are desperate looking for internships and jobs so that we can graduate, I had to take the offer. So the offer was basically working 10k a day. I think 10k is about $3 a day to build a website. Anyway, I took up the offer and started working actually the previous day. So I would go to school half day, and then after school I would come this way to work and then get my 10k and then go back home. The first day I went to the office, I met a gentleman. I'll call him Jay. I met Jay. Jay was also someone from my school. I knew him just by his face, by his looks, but I never knew his name. So I met Jay, and he is a graphics designer, a very good graphics designer. And when I met him, we just continued working. The two of us who were working on the website, we started our work right away. So that was my first job, but not corporate. So I worked with these people every day, 10,000 shillings, go back home, but the money was just getting finished that same day because I was using the money for transport to school, to work, then back home, to school, to work. So like there was no any money. But anyway, fast forward about 2 months later, I think if I remember, that was towards now 2018, towards the festive, I think towards the end of the year, the months toward the end of the year. And I get a call. And when I get a call, someone tells me, hi Fanny, I got your number from Jay. Mind me, I knew Jay, but I never knew his name. And I was like, who the hell is Jay? But anyway, the person gave me a call. I remember I was in a salon. My aunt was making my hair, and he told me, I would like to interview you for a PHP developer role. And it was a Saturday, so he was suggesting we meet up on Sunday for that interview. So he asked me where I am. I tell him the location. So he's like, okay, we shall be in this place, in this restaurant for the interview on Sunday. It was really tough because I remember I was living with my uncle, and it is very hard to step out on Sunday without a reason. Sunday is specifically a day for rest. So I was trying to figure out, how do I go for this interview on a Sunday? Fast forward, I agreed to the interview and I talked to my auntie. She was like, okay, let's go to church, and then after church you can just go. I was like, okay, cool. On Sunday we go to church, and then after church I gave this gentleman a call. I was like, I'm coming from church. What time can we meet her? And then he tells me, oh my goodness, I have just gone to Nairobi, so let's meet up tomorrow. I was like, okay, thank God. Tomorrow I'll come for the interview. So remember, Jay recommended me again with the same gentleman I worked with in the previous half-day job that was paying 10k a day. So on Monday, I actually forgot about it because I don't know what was happening with me. The communication previously was so bland. Like I didn't know what to do the next Monday. So on Monday, I just went straight to school. So when I went straight to school, I got a call like, Fanny, where are you? I thought you would meet up today at office. I was like, no, let me come then. So he told me, call this number, and this was Jay's number. I called Jay, and then Jay tells me, you come here at this location and let's meet up. So I went, and then when I went, I find this other colleague of mine from the other previous office again, also here. So when I see Jay in there, I was like, oh, so all along your name is Jay, and I didn't know your name, seriously. And I knew him, but from, when you're in the same school, someone is doing a different course, you're always seeing a familiar face at campus, in the corridors. Like I knew the guy, and at some point we had the same class of we used to have a class for graphics design. They would sometimes mix us with Jay's class, so I knew him. So when he came, he met us like, Fanny, get serious. So I had met him previously the other side. So when I met Jay together with my colleague, he took us to the office. So when he took us to the office, we were just seated there. waiting for the bosses to come for us. So anyway, few minutes later, maybe 30 minutes later, they bring for us a van. They're like, okay guys, go for your interview. So we left the office in a van for the interview, and I remember it was at a restaurant, one of the fancy restaurants in Kampala, and we had our laptops with us. So when we reached for the interview, remember we are going for PHP developer interview, so I was all ready for that PHP, presenting my PHP projects that I did at school and all that stuff. My colleague also same. When we reached at the restaurant, we find two, those are our bosses, they're two gentlemen, and they just basically tell us, first order what you want. So we order just drinks. I remember soda. I think I ordered soda because I was so embarrassed. So ordered our soda. So we were sipping. They were still doing their meeting. Once they were done, they're like, okay, can you show us what you've done in PHP and all that? So I had my computer, but my computer was, back then we would call it a TV or a desktop, because like it would not work without power. So it has to be plugged in to a socket for it to turn on. Like the battery was dead. So we started looking around for battery. Even my colleague's laptop was also the same. So we basically look for a socket, we plug in, and then we show them. They're like, oh, your computers are faulty. We're like, yeah, okay. They're like, fine, just show us what you've done. My colleague shows them code and everything. I also show them the projects I've done in PHP and all the group projects, personal projects, everything. I was by the very good PHP developer. So after that, they just tell us, go and start working. We never discussed salary. We never discussed what we are going to work on. We never discussed anything in regards to what we are going to do. So he just told us, go to office and start working. You'll find someone called L. Let's call him L. We go to office and we find L. And then from there, L was, I think, leaving. So they wanted some people to replace him. So when we meet L, then he was taking us through the project. And guys, you know what? The project was in WordPress. And that is how I also got introduced to WordPress, because I didn't know what WordPress was. The project was with WordPress, and that is how I got my first corporate job. And I did that job. I worked for about 1.5 years, about 1+ years, yes, before leaving. So that is my story, and I hope it inspires you. More of the story, how I actually got the job was through connections, through someone I knew, through someone, basically I can say through referral. Someone referred me, and this person who referred me was someone who knew me, someone who I went to school with, someone who I went to the same school with, and basically that is it. So make sure that you make connections as much as you can, because I remember even after that I kept getting referrals. So be mindful of the people you network with, the people you chill with, if they are able to recommend you or not. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.